What's going on, guys? Hey, I am at a mobile home that just got finished up, and I'm over here. I did a final walkthrough with the contractor, just to make sure we're all buttoned up. I wanted to walk you guys through this home. This home has a extremely crazy backstory. Let's just say the police were involved. There was some arrests made, and I'll tell you more about that story later. But first, so this is the home. It's actually a pretty old home, and it's got like this addition off the side, which I'll show you on the outside what that looks like. But kitchen, living area, and then up front you've got another little bedroom with a half bath in it. Pretty small bedroom. And then we'll walk to the front, or I guess this is actually the back. One thing I'll note, it's got this nice big porch area out there. It's all painted up nice. And then this is the bathroom. Another bathroom with washer dryer hookups in the back, shower, and then the back bedroom. So this thing was, touched pretty much everywhere. Paint, had to patch subfloor, all new flooring throughout the house, brand new AC, water heater, things like that. But the home's not perfect. You guys probably can't tell, in the video, but there's definitely imperfections to the home. But that's okay. This is going to be a really affordable place for someone, much more affordable than buying even a $50,000 house. So I'll take you guys to the outside. We'll show you what it looks like out there. Okay, so don't mind the weeds or the landscaping. The lawn care guy has not been here this week. A little frustrated, but as you can see, it's definitely an older style home, and that was added on, much after, this thing was made. This was probably made in the 60s. I'm gonna guess it's like a 68. So you go around the side, you've got this little gravel lot, and then you got that porch area. Pretty nice. Brand new AC unit, little shed back here, and throw your stuff. So not a bad little home. And again, this thing had a pretty crazy story, so I'll have to tell you about that here in a little bit. This park that we're working in right now has come a long ways over the last year. We have renovated, I think we counted 8 homes this year. Which some of them I made videos about in the past, but like that one we did recently, We've done multiple homes down that row. And then we just acquired that one recently. We're doing next, that will be the next one. And then we've done a couple up there. But yeah, this house, we're finally ready to get this thing sold. Okay, so a little bit more about the backstory of that home. So acquired this park a year and a half ago or whatever it was, and I had this tenant that was giving us problems from day number one. Gonna keep his name out of it. Let's call him Bob. So Bob was in and out of jail, had a really rough record. He was probably about 61, 62 years old. So older guy. You'd think that he would, have his life together, but he just couldn't get it together. Continuously in trouble, continuously arrested. Used drugs fairly heavily through his life, and he pretty much just stopped paying rent. And so we had to unfortunately ask him to leave. He was like 6, 7, 8 months behind, I want to say. And actually I think by the end of it, he was going on a year behind pretty much the whole time that we owned the park. And then we ended up removing him probably 4 months ago or so, which I think that timeline lines up about right. But the story, it goes on forever. I'm not going to, tell you the whole story, but long story short, we finally got the judge to sign off on the paperwork to evict him. The problem is there's an additional step when you don't own the home and the tenant owns a home. Then you have to get rights to their home, and you have to wait an additional length of time. And so what I told Bob was, I said, hey, look, either way, you're out of here. They've already signed off. Here's the date the sheriff is going to come out and remove you. And there's so much more drama involved in here that I'm not even talking about. But he agreed to meet me, and I was going to pay him for his home. He was going to sign a bill of sale. I was going to hand him cash. I was going to pay him. I think it was $2,500. It was either $2,000 or $2,500 for more or less his keys. And you might say, like, why would you do that? You know, he's getting evicted. Look, it's worth it to have the true rights to his home. Him sign the title over to me. That way I don't have to go through the additional paperwork, additional attorney fees. And also, like, I wanted to help the guy out to some extent, give him some sort of, cash that he could move on from, hoping that he would find an apartment, try to clean his life up. But get this. So the date finally comes when I'm supposed to meet him, and he's going to sign the contract. And let me first back up and say that this guy actually killed someone back when he was younger. And sorry, my plumber just texted me, said he's gonna come over tomorrow morning. So he had actually killed someone, I'm pretty sure as a minor. He did it. It wasn't by accident, but it was kind of by accident. The story that I heard was he was at a party with his friends, and one of his friends was getting picked on by someone, and Bob stepped up and I guess, hit him pretty hard or something, ended up killing the guy. And so pretty sure that he went to prison for, I don't know how long it was. It wasn't, his whole life or anything, but he was in there for a pretty good length of time, and I don't think he ever really got his life back together. So I'm evicting him from his home that he's had. His mom owned it before him, so they've had it for like 30, 40 years. I feel bad for the guy, but like you gotta pay your rent, and you gotta stick to our rules. And so at this point, I'm like, okay, this guy has nothing to lose, and he's honestly better off in prison, and he probably realizes that. He has no money. He has terrible health, can't even hardly afford food. Prison probably isn't a bad option. He's pretty used to it. They provide food, healthcare. I know that's terrible for me to even say that, and I'm not meaning it in a bad way, but I guess my point is I was actually worried about my safety. And so I called the sheriff and said, hey, will you assist me? Will you come along? I forget what they call it. Like, it's more keeping the peace is what they say. Like, yeah, we'll come, we'll keep the peace, and we'll just make sure everything goes okay. So I call him up, and he said, yep, we'll be there, 2:00 on Wednesday or whatever it was. And he said, by the way, Bob currently has a warrant out for his arrest. And so after you sign the paperwork with him, we're going to arrest him on the spot. And I'm like, oh boy, like, this is great. I was actually nervous, showing up to this meeting. Showed up to his house, and the sheriff had actually already gotten there. There's actually like 4 of them. And I actually have all this filmed on my camera, but I can't show it because it's, invasion of privacy. But show up there, they had already as I was walking up, they had just broken the news that he was, going to be arrested. So I went ahead, signed the paperwork with him, signed the bill of sale, handed him $2,500 cash or $2,000. And I walked through the home with the sheriff, made sure, no one was in there. We secured the home, and this home was a disaster. But after that, they immediately handcuffed him and took him to jail. And I have video actually of them handcuffing him and putting him in the squad car. I just put my phone in my pocket with the camera kind of sticking out. And again, the reason why I did that is for my own safety. It's not to like share or like put anywhere, but I've actually done that on multiple occasions. So here's the sad part is, so Bob goes to jail and his bail is like $2,000. And so immediately he bails himself out of jail and blows every penny that I gave him. And that was all the money he had. So 3 weeks later, he calls me up out of the blue. I'm actually out of town. And he's like, I need more money. I'm like, what do you mean you need more money? Like, we had the agreement. He's like, I have nowhere to go. I had to use all that money on bail. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. And there was definitely a time there where I was just a little bit worried that this guy was going to like show up at my house and, thankfully that didn't happen. So that's kind of the crazy story. There's a lot more detail in there that I'm not sharing. Just a lot of drama, a lot of back and forth, a lot of, there's a couple times where I caught him, like he had to have been on some sort of like, heavy drug, and he was trying to drive his truck. And I have a video of that too, of him like backing like 15 times, doing like a 15-point turn, trying to get turned around. And just not a great guy to be around. So thankfully he's out of the park. We went in there and we spent some serious money fixing the home up, and now we're getting someone good in there who's, hopefully going to be a good asset to the community. So, I mean, that's what it's all about. I last resort will kick someone out of their home. I mean, it's not fun for any of us. It costs money. And so, that's just the last thing that we try to do. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that video. Hopefully I'll have some more updates coming soon. There's a lot in the works. So we'll see you later.